We have a massive trade update revolving around the Phoenix Suns as Brian Gregory and Matt Ishbia and company went out and did their job, getting a steal on the trade market on draft night in a position of need that was desperately being asked for from fans as they went out and called their good old buddies down in Charlotte, a team that they've been working with the last couple of months in trades, and renegotiated another one where Jordan Ott is landing another intriguing piece to really get excited for this retool. We'll be diving in and exploring who this piece is, how it affects the Suns, and what they ultimately gave up in this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support. You guys, I made a video regarding the pick that the Suns took at pick 10, which was Kaman Malawach. I think the Suns robbed the NBA with him falling into their lap. I think he is going to be so successful for their team as a defensive rebounder, interior defensive piece. And Brian Gregory spoke up how key and keen he is to him already. So if you missed that, go check out that video. There'll be a lot more coming about Malawach on this channel. But regarding to that, we're going to be talking about the other center that the Suns landed here via trade today. So make sure to grab that snack, and let's dive into this video at hand today. As like I mentioned, we need to let Brian Gregory and Matt Ishbia cook, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people were questioning this front office as obviously there were some concerns, and I'm not blaming you for having those concerns. But as you all know, I've been someone to say, give them the time of day, let them prove to us if they can do stuff right or if they can do stuff wrong. And the first move tonight was from Brian Gregory, where at pick 10, they went and selected Kaman Malawach, someone he was very high on. He loves the excitement that he's going to bring and thinks he can be a very intriguing piece for Phoenix, and I am very, very like the same. I know a lot of Suns fans would have been absolutely devastated if Malawach fell, and the fact that he was able to be at 10 was a blessing for the Phoenix Suns. But Brian Gregory, with all the eyes on him tonight, not only made that great play in selecting Kaman Malawach, but also went out and did a trade and landed Mark Williams. As like I mentioned, the Hornets, good fan favorite of the Phoenix Suns in recent trades, as we'll get into a little bit how that is resemblant, made a trade with the Suns again here with Mark Williams. Williams, who was traded to the Lakers last trade deadline, but the trade was rescinded, was now traded to Phoenix for the number 29 overall pick, alongside a 2029 future first round pick and Veliz Micic. And I think that is very, very interesting. One, Veliz Micic came from Charlotte, if you guys don't remember, in that Jusuf Nurkic deal. And like I mentioned, this team has had multiple trades revolving around centers over the last couple of months, which is absolutely hilarious, right? You obviously factor the Suns trading Josh Okogie for Nick Richards, then them trading Jusuf Nurkic, another center, for Veliz Micic and Cody Martin, and now trading Veliz Micic for their other center in Mark Williams. Just a weird circus of movement between the Suns and the Hornets, those good old buddies of ours back down there, which is just hilarious. But once again, like I mentioned, this is an absolute robbery for the Phoenix Suns, in my opinion. Mark Williams is a very key piece, and I'll go into why in a little bit. But not only just that, for the contract that the Suns gave up as well, and Veliz Micic is a great deal that they got off of. Now, like I mentioned, Brian Gregory did some great things here. We look at Gerald Bourguet's tweet. When looking at this week ahead, the Suns had Kevin Durant, the 29 pick, a 2029, and Veliz Micic. And they turned that into Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Malawach, 5 seconds, and Mark Williams. Give your praise to Brian Gregory and Matt Ishbia here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, there's still a lot to go with this roster, and we'll get into where that is here. As, like I mentioned, they still have some salary to shed. They also have some weird gray areas with a lot of centers and a lot of shooting guards, where I expect more moves to come in here for the Phoenix Suns. But once again, they are moving. They are trying to get things done. My boy John Voita over from Bright Side of the Sun and Suns Jam obviously said as well that Brian Gregory just took someone who was likely to be cut, as we've talked about, as Veliz Micic was on that team option, and that's why he was traded for Jusuf Nurkic, was most likely going to be going back, and traded him back to the team that he got for a starting caliber center who makes less money than him. Woo! Brian Gregory is cooking, ladies and gentlemen. I have to give him his flowers. He is cooking here for the Phoenix Suns. And like I mentioned, you get Mark Williams, who a lot of people are going to raise some concerns, and I already know I'm going to see it in the comments. He can't stay healthy. His trade already got rescinded with the Hornets. But let me tell you this. Mark Williams is a cheap $4 million center, very similar to Nick Richards. But he has he is a way better center than Nick Richards. His interior defense is a lot better. His rebounding stats are crazy. You can look at Mark Williams highlights. There's games where he has 15, 20 rebounds, ladies and gentlemen. And let's not forget that Mark Williams and Nick Richards, when they played alongside each other in Charlotte, made themselves look a lot better when they had that duo. Now, does that have some uncertainty for Nick Richards? Most likely, and we'll probably be discussing that in some future videos when looking at the Suns' salary, because he's a non-guaranteed deal. Could get waived, could maybe get moved down the line, with the Suns now having Mark Williams, Kaman Malawak, Oso Ighodaro, and Nick Richards. They could also keep him as well, because he only does make $5 million. That'd still be a pretty affordable contract. And who knows what they're going to do with Oso Ighodaro. Is he going to play the 4? Is he going to be able to play the 5? Will Bol be brought back? Can also play that backup 4 role that he was supposed to play. The possibilities are endless for the Phoenix Suns, realistically, over these next couple of days, all depending on what they can do with their roster. But not also to mention that Jordan Ott ran 2 bigs in Cleveland. So maybe he wants to do Malawak and Mark Williams together. I don't know if that's going to work. But that's something to keep an eye on. Probably not, but just like I'm saying, well, anything can happen with the Phoenix Suns. But Mark Williams, quality starting center when he's fully healthy. Once again, the injury concerns are there with Mark Williams. But in my opinion, you didn't give up much for a guy that can be a high-level quality starting player. And if not, if Malawak does become that starting center, maybe not this season or for the future, Mark Williams would be a fantastic, and I mean fantastic, backup big. And if you reduce his minutes, maybe that's the availability where Mark Williams can play a longer season. Instead of maybe playing 30, 40 games, if he's only playing 15 to 20 minutes, maybe that gives him 50 to 60 games, 70 games, and that makes him even more a productive player for the Phoenix Suns in a limited role. And like I mentioned, if you're the Phoenix Suns, you only gave up Veliz Micic, who you were going to waive anyways, like John stated. You gave up the 2029 first rounder, which you got in your deal that you traded your 2030 first for last year to try to get 3 firsts for what's his name? Bradley Beal. You didn't, so now you're stuck with these firsts. So you traded your 2029 one, you traded your 29 one, which was this year, so you traded 2 of those firsts alongside Vasa Micic for Mark Williams. And if you compare the deal, I don't have the screenshot for what the Lakers gave up. The Lakers ended up giving up more for Mark Williams. They gave up Dalton Connect and Cam Reddish, which Cam Reddish was a salary filler. Dalton Connect was a first-round pick, alongside another first and a first-round swap. The Suns gave up less value for a player that can make some key impacts immediately at the starting center position, but potentially could even be that backup center if Malawak does grow, or could be a very solid backup center for the future as well, depending on how he really thrives. With him as well, like I mentioned, makes less than Veliz Micic, and also has the possibility of being on a rookie contract to extend, and if he does come back on a cheap backup center contract for this Suns team, could be a great two-way tandem with him and Kaman Malawak, being able to do a lot of very similar things in the defensive front court, which just goes to show you what Phoenix really wants to value. Defensive, interior rim protection, and shot blocking. People that can work in the pick and roll with Devin Booker, and that's what guys like Mark Williams and Kaman Malawak can do. I'm very excited. Like I mentioned, there still are moves to come here with the Phoenix Suns. By trading Veliz Misic's contract, that does help them because now they do save money, but now they're not waiving a contract, right? So now that comes into the question of what they do with the guy in Nick Richards. Does he get waived now? Does he potentially get moved for a second-round pick or something like that tomorrow? Tomorrow, or potentially additional seconds, and you use those with picks 52 and 59 to trade up if you're the Phoenix Suns? Do you trade him for additional or second-round capital in the future? That's also a question to come up with the Phoenix Suns, but also they also have contracts of Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and Bradley Beal. And obviously with them having a lot of scoring and shooting guards and still needing some wing presence with Ryan Dunn and potentially Cody Martin if he does come back, and Royce O'Neal still only being those wings, the Suns are definitely a team to keep an eye on, maybe in the second round, to make multiple selections to get those wings or to make a trade with some contracts that they do have that aren't necessarily needed to go out and fill those roles. So, like I mentioned, very, very, very successful day for the Phoenix Suns overall in the draft, selecting Kaman Malawak and trading for Mark Williams. I'm going to give it an A+ for the Phoenix Suns. Was not going into expecting them to have one center, only expecting to have them one center on the roster. Now they have 2, and 2 that I'm very, very high on being good fits with this retool and this new direction, being younger guys as well, which is what this squad wants to do. Be fast, be hungry, and be more athletic. Going with a younger youth roster is definitely something different that we've seen in Phoenix, which is definitely keeping all our eyes glued on this team, very anticipating for an exciting season. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. on this trade regarding Mark Williams here for the Phoenix Suns. Tomorrow, over on the channel, we will have whoever the Suns do draft in the second round with their videos coming at you. So if you want to stay in tap to those, similar to the video on Common Malo Watch that we dropped today, definitely stay tuned for those. And if you missed the Malo Watch one, go check that out because we did a little bit of a preview. We'll have more stuff coming out with the Suns as well. If they do any trades or any big moves do come out here over the next 24 hours or into tomorrow, we definitely will have some coverage for you guys. So if you want to stay tapped in, know everything on this team, like I always say, this is a central place. So hit the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts today on the draft. What would you rank it for the Phoenix Suns? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and peace out.